Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends and dreamer, we all have our stories of heartbreak, loss, and unimaginable struggles. Each one of us carries a weight we often wish we didn't have to bear. Today, I want to talk about something that connects us all: pain. Pain is a silent companion that shows up uninvited, often at the worst times. It can feel like a thief, stealing your joy, your dreams, and sometimes even your will to move forward. But what if I told you that pain isn't just a thief? What if pain is also a teacher? What if it has the power to transform you into the strongest version of yourself? There was a time in my life when I felt like I had hit rock bottom. Everything I once took for granted slipped away in the blink of an eye. I remember asking myself, why me? Why now? Why this? And for a while, I stayed in that darkness, consumed by self-pity and despair. But one day I realized something. That pain I felt wasn't there to break me, it was there to awaken me. You see, pain doesn't come into our lives to destroy us. It comes to push us to grow, to change, and to rise. It challenges us to dig deep within ourselves to find strength we never thought existed. When life breaks you, let it break you open. Let it carve out space within you for new beginnings, for wisdom, for power. Because the truth is, you can't truly shine unless you've first been tested in the fire. The question isn't whether you'll face pain, you will. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you let it define you, or will you use it to refine you? Take a moment to think about the people who inspire you, the artists, the leaders, the everyday heroes. They didn't rise to greatness because life was kind to them. They rose because they turned their pain into power. Pain is a teacher, not a destroyer. This is a profound truth that has the power to completely shift the way we perceive our struggles. It's so easy to fall into the mindset that pain exists solely to break us, to tear apart the foundations of our lives, leaving us helpless and defeated. But when we start to view pain as a teacher, everything changes. It stops being an adversary and becomes a guide, one that, while harsh and unrelenting at times, has the potential to impart lessons that no other force in life can. Pain, in its many forms, whether physical, emotional, or mental, is an inevitable part of the human experience. No one is exempt from it. It comes uninvited, often when we least expect it, and when it arrives, it demands our full attention. This is why pain is such a powerful teacher. It grabs us by the shoulders and forces us to confront parts of ourselves and our lives that we might otherwise ignore. In the quiet moments of suffering, pain strips away distractions and lays bare the raw truth of who we are and what we're experiencing. When we encounter pain, our initial reaction is often to resist it. We try to push it away, numb it, or pretend it doesn't exist. But resistance only amplifies the discomfort. The lesson begins when we stop running from pain and instead choose to sit with it. This doesn't mean we have to enjoy it or even fully understand it in the moment. It simply means acknowledging its presence and allowing ourselves to feel it without judgment. Pain, when met with acceptance, loses some of its power to overwhelm us. It becomes a dialogue instead of a battle. In this dialogue, pain starts to reveal its purpose. It may highlight areas of our lives that need change or growth. For example, emotional pain might stem from relationships that no longer serve us, showing us where boundaries need to be drawn or where healing is required. Physical pain can teach us to care for our bodies, to rest, or to seek help when we've been pushing ourselves too hard. Mental pain, such as anxiety or depression, can act as a signal that something deeper needs attention, urging us to confront buried fears, traumas, or unmet needs. Each form of pain carries a message, and when we listen carefully, we can begin to decipher what it's trying to tell us. Pain also teaches us resilience. It's often said that growth lies just outside our comfort zone, and pain is a stark reminder of this truth. The moments that challenge us the most are the ones that have the potential to shape us into stronger, more compassionate, and more understanding individuals. Think about the times in your life when you faced adversity. While those moments were undoubtedly difficult, they likely also marked periods of significant personal growth. Pain pushes us to our limits, and in doing so, it shows us just how strong and capable we truly are. Moreover, pain has a way of connecting us to others. When we've experienced suffering, we develop a deeper sense of empathy for those who are going through similar struggles. This shared understanding creates bonds that transcend superficial interactions. Pain reminds us of our shared humanity and the universal nature of suffering. It allows us to extend kindness and compassion, not only to others, but also to ourselves. In this way, pain doesn't just teach us about ourselves, it also teaches us about the importance of connection and community. Another crucial lesson pain offers is the value of impermanence. When we're in the midst of suffering, it can feel like it will last forever. But pain, like all things in life, is temporary. This realization doesn't minimize the intensity of what we're feeling in the moment, but it does provide hope. Just as joy, success, and love come and go, so too does pain. Understanding this impermanence allows us to navigate difficult times with a sense of perspective. It reminds us that even the darkest nights eventually give way to dawn. Pain also has the power to awaken us to what truly matters in life. When everything is going smoothly, it's easy to get caught up in trivial concerns or to take things for granted. Pain has a way of cutting through the noise, forcing us to focus on what's really important. It reminds us to cherish the moments of joy, to appreciate the people we love, and to prioritize the things that bring us meaning and fulfillment. In this way, pain can act as a catalyst for clarity and purpose. There is also an undeniable creativity that can emerge from pain. Many of the world's greatest works of art, literature, and music have been born out of suffering. Pain has a way of accessing the deepest parts of our souls, allowing us to express truths that might otherwise remain hidden. This creative expression not only helps us process our own emotions, but also resonates with others, providing a source of comfort and connection. Through creativity, pain can be transformed into something beautiful and meaningful. In addition to fostering creativity, pain encourages us to develop coping mechanisms and skills that serve us throughout our lives. It teaches us to be resourceful, to seek out solutions, and to build inner strength. These skills don't just help us navigate pain, they also equip us to handle future challenges with greater ease and confidence. Pain, in this sense, is not just a teacher, but also a trainer, preparing us for the inevitable ups and downs of life. One of the most profound lessons pain teaches is the importance of gratitude. When we've experienced hardship, we develop a deeper appreciation for the moments of peace and joy in our lives. Pain highlights the contrast between struggle and ease, making us more mindful of the blessings we might otherwise overlook. This gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it does provide a sense of balance and perspective, reminding us that even in the midst of suffering, there is still much to be thankful for. Pain also has a way of challenging our perceptions of strength. Society often equates strength with stoicism, with the ability to endure hardship without showing vulnerability. But pain teaches us that true strength lies in our ability to be honest about our struggles, to seek help when we need it, and to allow ourselves to heal. It takes courage to face pain head-on, to confront the wounds it reveals, and to do the hard work of recovery. This vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our resilience and determination. Perhaps one of the most humbling lessons pain teaches is the need for surrender. There are times when, despite our best efforts, we can't change or control the circumstances that are causing us pain. In these moments, we're forced to let go of our illusions of control and to trust in the process of life. This surrender is not about giving up, it's about acknowledging our limits and finding peace in the midst of uncertainty. It's about learning to navigate the storms of life with grace and acceptance. Finally, pain teaches us the value of hope. No matter how deep the suffering, there is always the possibility of healing, growth, and transformation. Pain reminds us that we are constantly evolving and that even the most difficult experiences can lead to something beautiful. It shows us that we are capable of not only surviving but also thriving, of turning our struggles into sources of strength and inspiration. This hope is perhaps the greatest gift pain can offer, reminding us that even in our darkest moments, there is always light to be found. Let pain break you open, not break you down. Pain has a way of creeping into our lives in the most unexpected moments, shaking the very foundation of who we are. When it arrives, it can feel like the world is collapsing around us, leaving us vulnerable and exposed. Yet it is in this exposure, in this rawness, that a profound transformation becomes possible. Instead of seeing pain as a force that destroys, we can choose to let it open us to new possibilities, perspectives, and depths within ourselves that we might never have explored otherwise. When we resist pain, we often tighten ourselves against it, building walls to shield us from its intensity. This resistance can harden us, creating a brittle shell that only serves to deepen our suffering. But when we allow pain to break us open, we become pliable, receptive, and capable of embracing the full spectrum of human emotion. To let pain break you open means to lean into the discomfort, to let it wash over you without turning away, and to trust that the process, though agonizing, has the potential to reveal something profound. In the breaking open, we often discover parts of ourselves that we didn't even know existed. Pain has a unique ability to strip away the masks we wear, the roles we play, and the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. It lays bare the essence of our being, forcing us to confront our fears, vulnerabilities, and truths. This confrontation is not easy, but it is necessary. In the stillness that follows the storm, we begin to see ourselves more clearly. We begin to understand that pain is not the enemy, it is a messenger, guiding us toward growth and self-awareness. Allowing pain to break us open also creates space for healing. When we try to suppress or ignore our pain, we inadvertently trap it within ourselves, letting it fester and grow. But when we face it head-on, we give ourselves permission to grieve, to release, and to heal. This healing is not linear, it is messy and unpredictable. Yet with each step forward, we become more whole, more resilient, and more in tune with our inner strength. Pain, when embraced, becomes a catalyst for profound and lasting transformation. The process of breaking open requires immense courage. It asks us to be vulnerable, to let go of the need for control, and to trust in the unknown. This vulnerability can feel like weakness, but it is, in fact, a profound strength. To be vulnerable is to be authentic, to show up as we are, and to honor our experiences without judgment. It is in this authenticity that we find connection to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us. Pain, when it breaks us open, dissolves the barriers we've built, allowing us to connect more deeply and authentically with those around us. Pain also has a way of teaching us empathy. When we've allowed ourselves to be broken open, we become more attuned to the struggles of others. We recognize the universal nature of suffering and the shared humanity that binds us all. This empathy doesn't just make us more compassionate, it also reminds us that we are never truly alone. Our pain, though deeply personal, connects us to a larger tapestry of human experience. In this connection, we find strength, solidarity, and the understanding that even in our darkest moments, we are supported. Letting pain break you open does not mean dwelling in it or letting it consume you. It means allowing it to move through you, to teach you what it needs to teach, and to leave you transformed. This transformation is not about becoming someone new, it is about becoming more fully yourself. It is about shedding the layers of fear, doubt, and pretense that have kept you small and stepping into the fullness of your being. Pain, when embraced, becomes a doorway to self-discovery, growth, and authenticity. Through this breaking open, we also come to appreciate the beauty of impermanence. Pain reminds us that nothing in life is static, everything is in a constant state of change. This awareness can be both unsettling and liberating. It challenges us to let go of attachments, to cherish the fleeting moments of joy, and to trust in the ebb and flow of life. In the face of pain, we learn to find beauty in the chaos, to see the light in the darkness, and to recognize that even in our most broken moments, there is potential for renewal. Pain, when it breaks us open, also ignites our creativity. It taps into the deepest parts of our souls, urging us to express ourselves in ways we never thought possible. Whether through art, writing, music, or simply the way we live our lives, pain becomes a source of inspiration. It pushes us to create, to transform our suffering into something meaningful, and to share our journey with others. In doing so, we not only heal ourselves, but also offer hope and comfort to those who may be walking a similar path. The breaking open is not a one-time event, it is a continual process. Life will bring us challenges, losses, and heart attacks that test our capacity to remain open. Each time we are faced with the choice to let the pain harden us or to let it soften us, deepen us, and expand our capacity for love and understanding. This choice is not always easy, but it is always available to us. With each choice to remain open, we grow stronger, wiser, and more aligned with our true selves. Ultimately, letting pain break us open is an act of surrender. It is a willingness to embrace the unknown, to trust in the process, and to believe in our own resilience. It is a recognition that pain, as difficult as it may be, is an integral part of the human experience. In allowing ourselves to be broken open, we not only transform our relationship with pain, but also discover the incredible strength, beauty, and potential that lies within us. Shift your mindset. What is this teaching me? Pain is one of life's most challenging experiences, but it is also one of its greatest teachers. When we encounter hardship, our instinct is often to ask, why is this happening to me? This question, while natural, can trap us in a cycle of frustration, self-pity, and hopelessness. It keeps us focused on the unfairness of the situation and blinds us to the possibilities for growth and transformation that pain can offer. But when we shift our perspective and instead ask, what is this teaching me? We open ourselves to an entirely new way of understanding our experiences. This shift is not easy. It requires us to step outside of our immediate reactions and look at the bigger picture. Pain in the moment can feel all-encompassing. It can feel like the world has closed in around us, leaving no room for hope or understanding. But pain is rarely without purpose. It often comes into our lives to reveal something we need to learn, something we might not have been able to see otherwise. By asking, what is this teaching me? We begin to see pain not as an enemy but as a guide. When we approach pain with curiosity instead of resistance, we create space for insight. This doesn't mean the pain becomes easier to bear, but it does mean that we can begin to find meaning in it. For instance, emotional pain might teach us about the importance of boundaries, the need for self-love, or the value of resilience. Physical pain might teach us to listen to our bodies, to slow down, or to prioritize our well-being. Even the pain of failure can teach us lessons about perseverance, humility, and the courage to try again. Each experience, no matter how difficult, carries within it the seed of growth. Asking, what is this teaching me? Also helps us to take ownership of our experiences. It shifts the narrative from one of victimhood to one of empowerment. Instead of feeling helpless in the face of pain, we become active participants in our own healing and growth. This doesn't mean we ignore or downplay the pain we're feeling. On the contrary, it means we acknowledge it fully and then choose to work with it rather than against it. This shift in mindset is incredibly powerful. It transforms pain from something that happens to us into something that works for us. When we adopt this mindset, we also begin to develop a greater sense of self-awareness. Pain has a way of highlighting the areas in our lives that need attention. It shows us where we've been neglecting ourselves, where we've been holding on to unhealthy patterns, and where we've been avoiding difficult truths. By asking what the pain is teaching us, we bring these issues to light and give ourselves the opportunity to address them. This process is not always comfortable, but it is essential for personal growth. Another benefit of shifting our mindset is that it fosters resilience. When we see pain as a teacher, we begin to understand that it is not something to be feared, but something to be learned from. This perspective helps us to navigate future challenges with greater confidence and clarity. We start to see difficulties not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. This resilience doesn't mean we won't feel pain, it means we'll be better equipped to handle it when it comes. This mindset also has a profound impact on our relationships. When we learn to ask, what is this teaching me? We become more empathetic and understanding toward others. We realize that everyone is facing their own challenges and that pain is a universal experience. This understanding allows us to approach others with compassion and kindness, even in the midst of our own struggles. It reminds us that we are all connected and that our experiences, while unique, are also shared. Pain also teaches us about gratitude. When we're in the midst of suffering, it's easy to focus solely on what we've lost or what we're missing. But by asking what the pain is teaching us, we can begin to see the ways in which it is also shaping us for the better. We learn to appreciate the strength we've developed, the lessons we've learned, and the growth we've experienced. This gratitude doesn't erase the pain, but it does provide a sense of balance and perspective. One of the most powerful aspects of this mindset is that it helps us to find purpose in our pain. When we ask what the pain is teaching us, we begin to see how our experiences can be used to help others. The lessons we've learned, the strength we've gained, and the insights we've discovered can all be shared to inspire and support those who are going through similar struggles. In this way, our pain becomes a source of light and hope, not just for ourselves, but for others as well. Ultimately, asking, what is this teaching me, is an act of courage. It requires us to face our pain head-on, to sit with the discomfort, and to seek out the lessons hidden within it. This process is not easy, but it is deeply rewarding. It allows us to transform our pain into a source of growth, resilience, and wisdom. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, there is always something to be learned, something to be gained, and something to be shared. Turn scars into strength and purpose. Scars are often seen as reminders of pain, of battles fought and struggles endured. They mark the moments in our lives when we were brought to our knees, moments when we thought we might not make it through. But scars are so much more than that. They are evidence of survival, of resilience, of the incredible strength it takes to endure and rise again. They are a testament to the fact that no matter how deep the wound, healing is possible. And in that healing, there is an opportunity to transform those scars into something powerful and purposeful. Scars, whether physical or emotional, tell a story. They are the chapters of our lives that have shaped who we are today. Each scar carries with it a lesson, a memory, a moment of transformation. These stories are not always easy to revisit. They may bring back feelings of vulnerability, fear, or sadness. But when we choose to view our scars not as marks of defeat, but as symbols of growth, we begin to reclaim our narrative. We take back the power that pain once held over us and turn it into a source of strength. To turn scars into strength, we must first acknowledge them. This means facing our pain, our past, and our wounds with honesty and courage. It means allowing ourselves to feel the emotions we've been avoiding and giving ourselves permission to grieve what we've lost. This process is not about dwelling in the pain, but about honoring the journey we've been on. By acknowledging our scars, we begin to integrate them into our identity in a way that empowers us rather than diminishes us. One of the most powerful ways to transform scars into strength is to find meaning in our experiences. This doesn't mean that every painful experience happens for a reason or that we should force ourselves to find a silver lining. Instead, it means looking for the ways in which our struggles have shaped us, taught us, or prepared us for what lies ahead. It means recognizing the resilience we've developed, the wisdom we've gained, and the compassion we've cultivated as a result of our pain. When we find meaning in our scars, they become a source of purpose rather than a source of shame. Sharing our stories is another powerful way to turn scars into strength. When we speak openly about our struggles and how we've overcome them, we not only empower ourselves but also inspire others. Our scars become a beacon of hope for those who are still in the midst of their battles, showing them that healing is possible and that they are not alone. Sharing our stories also helps to break down the stigma surrounding pain and vulnerability, creating a space where others feel safe to share their own experiences. In this way, our scars not only become a source of personal strength, but also a source of connection and community. Turning scars into strength also involves a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing our scars as flaws or imperfections, we can choose to see them as marks of courage and resilience. This shift requires us to challenge societal norms that equate scars with weakness or failure. It requires us to embrace our scars as part of our unique journey and to recognize that they make us who we are. When we shift our perspective, we stop hiding our scars and start wearing them with pride. We begin to see them not as something to be ashamed of, but as something to celebrate. Another key aspect of turning scars into strength is self-compassion. Often we are our harshest critics, judging ourselves for the ways we've struggled or the scars we bear. But true strength comes from treating ourselves with kindness and understanding. It comes from recognizing that pain is a universal experience and that our scars are a natural part of being human. Self-compassion allows us to see our scars through a lens of love rather than judgment, creating a foundation for healing and growth. Scars also have the power to ignite a sense of purpose. They remind us of what we've been through and what we've overcome, and they can motivate us to use our experiences to make a difference. Whether it's through helping others who are going through similar struggles, advocating for change, or simply living our lives with greater empathy and intention, our scars can guide us toward a deeper sense of meaning and fulfillment. They become a source of inspiration, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. The process of turning scars into strength is not linear. It's a journey that requires patience, courage, and a willingness to embrace the messiness of healing. There will be moments when our scars feel heavy, when the pain resurfaces, and when we doubt our ability to move forward. But each step we take toward transforming our scars into strength is a step toward reclaiming our power and rewriting our story. It is a step toward becoming the fullest, strongest, and most authentic version of ourselves. Ultimately, scars are not the end of the story. They are a part of the journey, a reminder of where we've been and how far we've come. They are proof that we have faced pain, endured it, and emerged on the other side. And in that emergence, there is strength, there is purpose, and there is the unshakable truth that we are capable of turning our scars into something extraordinary. Embrace pain as a powerful catalyst for transformation. Pain, in its many forms, is one of life's most profound experiences. It has the ability to shatter illusions, disrupt routines, and force us to confront the parts of ourselves that we might otherwise ignore. While our first instinct may be to avoid pain or push it away, the truth is that pain carries within it the seeds of profound change. It is through the discomfort, the challenges, and the struggles that we often uncover our greatest strengths and discover who we truly are. When we encounter pain, it is natural to resist. We recoil from the sharp edges of heartbreak, disappointment, or loss, trying to shield ourselves from the intensity of those feelings. But resistance only prolongs the suffering. When we fight against pain, we add layers of frustration, fear, and denial to an already difficult experience. By embracing pain, we allow ourselves to feel it fully, to sit with it, and to understand it. This doesn't mean wallowing in it or letting it consume us, but rather approaching it with curiosity and openness. When we stop resisting, we create space for the pain to teach us what it needs to teach. Pain has a way of stripping away the superficial and exposing what truly matters. It forces us to reevaluate our priorities, our relationships, and our goals. It often highlights the areas of our lives that are out of alignment with our values or our true selves. For instance, the pain of a failed relationship might reveal patterns of behavior or unresolved wounds that need attention. The pain of loss might remind us of the impermanence of life and the importance of cherishing the moments we have. In this way, pain serves as a mirror, reflecting back to us the truths that we might not want to see but desperately need to acknowledge. Embracing pain also allows us to cultivate resilience. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship, but about facing it head-on and finding a way through. Each time we confront pain and navigate through it, we strengthen our ability to cope with future challenges. We learn that we are capable of enduring more than we thought possible, and we develop the tools and strategies needed to handle adversity. Resilience doesn't mean that pain stops hurting, it means that we become better equipped to move forward in spite of it. This strength becomes a foundation upon which we can build a life that is both authentic and fulfilling. Pain also has the power to deepen our empathy and connection with others. When we've experienced pain, we become more attuned to the struggles of those around us. We recognize the vulnerability and humanity in others, and we approach them with greater compassion. This shared understanding creates a sense of connection and community, reminding us that we are not alone in our experiences. By embracing our own pain, we create space for others to do the same, fostering an environment where authenticity and healing can thrive. Transformation through pain often requires us to let go of the familiar and step into the unknown. This can be one of the most difficult aspects of the process. We might cling to old habits, relationships, or identities because they feel safe, even if they no longer serve us. But pain has a way of breaking down these attachments, urging us to release what is no longer aligned with our growth. Letting go can be terrifying, but it is also liberating. It opens the door to new possibilities, new perspectives, and new ways of being. Through this process, we come to understand that pain is not an obstacle but a pathway. It is not something to be avoided at all costs, but something to be embraced as part of the human experience. Pain reminds us of our capacity to feel deeply, to love fiercely, and to live fully. It challenges us to grow, to evolve, and to become more resilient, compassionate, and authentic. In this way, pain becomes a powerful force for transformation, shaping us into the people we are meant to be. The journey of embracing pain is not linear. There will be moments of progress and moments of setback, moments of clarity and moments of confusion. It is a process that requires patience, courage, and self-compassion. But with each step, we move closer to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Pain, when embraced, becomes a teacher, a guide, and a catalyst for change. It shows us that even in the midst of suffering, there is the potential for growth, for healing, and for profound transformation. By embracing pain, we also discover our capacity for creativity and self-expression. Pain often stirs something deep within us, urging us to make sense of our experiences through art, writing, music, or other forms of expression. This creativity is not just a way to process pain, but also a way to transform it into something meaningful and beautiful. It allows us to take our experiences and turn them into something that inspires, uplifts, and connects with others. In this way, pain becomes not just a source of transformation, but also a source of inspiration.